7 reasons why your community or your support system is key for your success. A community is important because they carry your vision when you are dreaming. So sometimes you are afraid to share your dreams, and it's true that you shouldn't be sharing them with just anyone. But when you have a good friend or a good community of friends, you shouldn't be afraid, and they will add more energy to your dream. I think that when someone cares about you and you share something precious, they will uplift your dream, and they will believe, they will be the first ones to believe in your dream. And sometimes it's scary, to start something new. But if you have a good support system, they will uplift you and help you dream about it and see and push you to see it come through.
Number 2 is unwavering belief when things aren't moving. So when you have a good support system that supports your dreams and carry your dreams with you, and we all know that when you start planting, there is a time for planting and there is a time for harvesting. And in the planting phase, it might seem like nothing is happening, but your support system, a good friend, good family, they will remind you that, hey, look how much work you've put in, look how much you've grown, look how much you've done in this time. So sometimes you may not be able to see it, but your support system will say, listen, you are putting in the work, just keep on going. And if you don't have that support system to remind you of how much you're working, or someone who has been there, seen you work, you might forget and you might become discouraged and you might give up.
Yeah.
So it is so good to have a support system that has unwavering belief in you, or unwavering belief in the work that you're putting in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that takes us to the next one, that is accountability that calls you higher. And these, sometimes we don't want to be accountable of the dreams or the plans that we have, and we want to give up, and that's the easy way, the easy way out. And it is good to have your support system to not let you give up and hold you accountable of the things that you promise to yourself or the plans that you have. And here I want to add as well, you mentioned family, and that's also why it's so important to choose a right partner, because when your partner will also hold you accountable about the plans that you have as a family. Your family, like your parents, will also hold you accountable about the things that you are working towards, and your friends as well. Like, hey, you promised to do this. Hey, you are planning on doing that. Hey, continue with your business. I believe in you, and don't just give up. Don't take the easy route out.
And sometimes you shouldn't. I know some people, they get triggered by that, or they will feel, why are you doing this? Like, stop bothering me, stop pushing me. Like, some people, they do get upset by that, because I've encountered that before, where I was just being accountable to someone, like, hey, you said you would do this. Hey, how is it going? When are you going to start this? When are you going, in love?
Your business,
But if you're not ready to actually do the work, it might be like more of a nagging feeling than support. So if you're feeling nagged by your partner or your friend or your family saying, hey, what is happening with that thing you said you were going to do, you need to question if you're actually serious about it. Or is that thing important to you? And if it is important to you, and you feel like, oh my gosh, it's nagging, maybe you need to recognize that the person is actually trying to be supportive to you and not to nag you, because it is, when someone cares about you,
it comes from love.
It comes from love, and they really want to see you win. So
but imagine if someone doesn't want to see that, someone that doesn't want to see you win will be pushing you. No, that doesn't happen. If someone doesn't want to see you success, they will keep quiet. So that's why it's important to have a community that holds you accountable. And sometimes it's uncomfortable because it's like, oh, I know what I have to do, but hey, keep doing it. And sometimes that is the push that some people need to continue and be responsible about the things
Yeah.
that we said that we
Because
were going to do.
sometimes we can also become laid back.
Oh,
We can
and
also become like, oh God.
in our comfort zone.
Yeah, become comfortable. But the Bible says a little sleep, a little folding of the hand, and suddenly poverty comes upon you.
Yeah. So
So you need, I think it's important to have someone that says, hey, wake up, go chase your dreams, wake up, go do this.
do your visa.
Yeah. You need to do your visa, yeah.
Yes.
I'm at the wit's end with you on that visa. So I keep pushing you to finish your visa application,
And that comes from love.
that comes from so much love.
And holding me accountable.
Another one is hope holders. Sometimes you are doing the work, you're putting in the work, and you're being accountable to the things that you said you will do, and you're receptive to others, cheering you on and nudging you to keep going. But sometimes you can't even see the light. You can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you can't see the work you're putting in reaching anywhere. But sometimes when you're so close to the situation, you can't see it yourself. Sometimes you have moments of darkness where you don't even have hope, but someone else looks at you, looks at your life, and they see so much hope for you, and they speak to you, and they ignite such a fire in you that reminds you like, hey, it is possible, it can happen for me. I had my monthly moment. I feel like
Shaky.
every month I get like in a place where I cry for something, because something is not moving the way I would like it to. And I had a moment where I feel like nothing was working out for me, and you were the one who was there to say, hey, it's gonna happen for you. And the same things I said to you when you were feeling that, it's the same things you said to me. And in that moment, I can't even remember or recognize the things that I said to you, because I am the one feeling like lost, or there is no light at the end of the tunnel. And that is how it is sometimes in your life. You have those moments where you can't see beyond right now, but a good support system that is not so close to it, they can see beyond that. They carry hope for you. And if you have no one carrying that hope for you, you probably will give up.
Yeah, it'll be harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because what you said, when you're so close, you don't see all the work that you've put into.
Yeah.
And I remember telling you like, hey babe, like you might not feel like you're moving, but I've seen all the work you've put into becoming a better person. I recognize, I see it every day, and I feel so proud about the person that you are becoming. So I see things moving.
Thanks, babe.
I do, babe. I do see things moving every day, and I feel proud. Really,
Thanks,
really proud.
babe. Oh.
So that's why it's important to have someone there that sees what you do.
Yes.
Because sometimes we forget. Like we learned a lesson, we improved something, and then we're like, oh, we're done with this, and we reach a new level, and that becomes our base. So sometimes like we keep looking up, and we forget about all the work we've built until that moment.
That is true.
That's why it's also important to have someone to share your wins and celebrate with them. And community is so important here, because success is sweeter when it's shared.
Yes.
And I can't wait, babe, for us to share our wins. And even now, like the little wins and the little things that we share together.
Yeah.
And when we clap for each other,
Yeah.
when we see that one of us reach a goal that we set for ourselves, and we are cheering for each other, that is so sweet, and it shows like, oh, this person cares about me. And that's why also, like, when you have a community that claps for you,
It gives you the motivation to
oh
even
my
keep going.
god, oh god, it is so nice to have that support system.
Yes.
And even more, like, they will clap not out of obligation, but because they've been through the process with you. They've seen your darkest hours. So that's why when you share your wins with them, they're going to be so proud and clapping so loud, because they know all
Yeah.
the work you've put
Yeah.
into building your dreams. So yeah, community, it's important. And right now, our community is
Each other.
each other.
We're in a foreign country.
Yeah.
And it is really hard to find genuine friendships, genuine relationship. And your community doesn't need to be big. It doesn't have to be big.
Yeah.
Right now, we are planting so much in our lives. There's so many things happening in our lives individually and together
Yes.
that we're planting. And the small things, when we overcome, we cheer for each other, we clap for each other, and that keeps me going as well.
Yes.
And I know that also
Oh,
keeps
yeah,
you
babe.
going
Yes.
when I cheer for you.
Yes.
And so it is important, whether it's a two-person community or a support system, or it's a whole village, whatever it is important. And I do believe you can't win on your own.
Or
you
live
know?
alone. We weren't made to be on our own.
We know of a girl who was living here in China by herself, and she didn't have
Community.
any friends around her or anyone supporting her, which she had before, and they
Yes.
all left, right? And she was there left alone. And she
End up leaving China.
she had to leave China because it was so hard for her, and she was going into depression and
Yeah.
so much sadness. So especially living overseas, I couldn't imagine navigating these last few years without you.
Yeah.
It would have been hard.
More challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is,
Sometimes I don't even feel the hardships because I'm with you.
that is true.
Yeah.
It's like walking with someone. If you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk far, walk
And
together.
not feel it.
Walk together with someone. And so that is it. Like when you're walking life with someone that is supportive and that loves you genuinely and cares about you, even the struggles will feel easier.
Yeah.
And that takes us into another one about struggles. A good community can be perspective shifters for you. Sometimes when you're going through stuff and you will say, life is so unfair to me, a good support system will say, life is teaching you lessons. I failed again. Your support system will say to you, you learn another way how to not do it. So it is good to have a support system that can share new perspective and can remind you that it's not that you're a failure. It's not that God gave up on you or God doesn't care about you. Maybe God is taking you through these hurdles to teach you something, to set you up into your future. Maybe you're like a slingshot, you're like the little stone in the slingshot that is pulled back and is launched into into the future, so maybe you're a slingshot. Maybe you're in the slingshot period right now where you're being launched, you're being pulled back, right? So maybe you're in your pullback season, and a good community, a good support system can remind you or to change your perspective like this, that it's not that God has left you. It's not like God is not here. He's not
Or punishing you.
or punishing you. You're being set up for something better. And that is literally what you said to me a few days ago, where you said, hasn't he always come through? Has he ever left you? Look how
He
far
always
you've
come
come.
through.
He's always come through for you. And so that was a perspective shift in a moment where I was like, God is not even, I was like crying and saying, I don't want to be in the same place that I am this year at the end of the year. And you're like, and I was saying to you, like, I don't know what God is doing. And you're like, has God ever left you before? So, it's good to have that perspective shift when you're going through hardships. And again, being alone and you're having all these dark thoughts. I think that is why so many people go into depression, babe.
Yeah. Because they don't have someone to bounce them and
Yeah.
someone to shake those dark
Thought.
emotions
Because
out.
if I were alone and just going through all of that and just going down the rabbit hole, no one to talk to, no one to just to listen and to change my perspective, it could be a very dark time. And the opposite is true, that if you have someone that helps to darken your dark moments, you'll be
gonna be
buried.
worse.
Like, babe,
Yeah.
I think God doesn't like me. Yes,
He doesn't like you. He
doesn't like you.
forgot about you.
You're a loser. you're a failure.
You deserve that.
Yeah. So it's also very important to choose wisely who will sit at your kitchen table, who will be your community, because you're gonna have moments of darkness. They are gonna come. That is just life.
Yeah. Definitely. For the next one, we also need a community for emotional and spiritual support when we feel empty. You know how comforting it's to have someone next to you, even if you're not talking, but you're feeling so sad, but you don't feel alone. And sometimes for me, it happened alone. It happened a lot that I didn't know what to say when someone was depressed at some moments, or they were going through something really hard, and I was like, oh my God, what to say? But let me just be here. You're not alone. Like, sometimes that was the only thing I could do,
And sometimes that's all that's needed.
and because there are moments where we don't need advices. We don't need someone to fix our problems. We just want someone to be next to us and hear us, listen to us. Sometimes that's the only thing we need, but it's important to feel that we have someone, even if they aren't saying anything. But when our cup is empty, we need someone to pour into us.
I want to ask you, what is your favorite thing about our community, this 2-person community?
My favorite thing is that when I am low, you are there and you are in high energy, and you're always there to pour into me, you know? So I've never felt left behind or without support. I always have a shoulder to go to and say like, hey, I'm not feeling okay, and that there's no judgment. We've learned so many things about each other. We've gone and seen so much growth, and we know our lows. And even now, you said like, hey, you're not being yourself, what happened? Like, we don't need words to recognize that the other is going through something, or that something is not settling well inside. So it is easy for us to recognize when the other is going through something, and we're always there to lift each other up. And when someone is low, the other one is high. So I don't know, like,
we're never both in the trenches together.
Yeah, it is a cycle that works for us. And sometimes it's like, okay, this week I am crying or suffering for this situation, and you're there to remind me and to lift me up. And next week is like, oh, same situation, funny enough, same situation, and it's like, hey, I already went through that. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. And remember the words that you said to me, and let's get through it together. That is my favorite thing. What about you?
My favorite thing is that I love how we're both allowed to fail. I love how we are both allowed to get it wrong and without judgment. There is like, I'm allowed to get things wrong here, and you don't judge me for that, and I'm allowed to grow and change and be better. And that is something that you are very good at. Like, I get something wrong, maybe in our relationship or in my life or whatever, and you're there to say it's okay to feel this way. It's okay to fail. Like, you know, perfection is not the goal. You're like, you don't have to be perfect. This is a part of the human experience. I love how I am able to get it wrong without judgment. That is my favorite thing. Thank you, babe.
Thank you, my community. And we're also trying to find people and sharing our thoughts and our ideas to find our community here online. Sometimes we are apart by like continents, countries, but
we can be a community.
We have the internet, and that's nice to find our people.
This has been it for our video today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.